Welcome back to Madison Square Garden as the Miami Heat get set to take on the New York Knicks. Let's check the starting lineups for today's game. First for the visiting Heat, loses at home to Detroit on Friday night. Brown, Mourning, and Mashburn. Mashburn being counted on to be a third scorer with Mourning and Hardaway this season for the Miami Heat. Vashawn Leonard, one of their top scorers, out with a stress fracture, so Dan Marley starts with Hardaway in the backcourt. And Miami coached by former New York Knicks coach Pat Riley, who also, of course, was in the Lakers, his 17th season as a head coach. The Knicks start the smallest starting lineup in the NBA. Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and now Latrell Sprewell added some defense and some scoring, the Knicks hope, to their lineup. Allen Houston came into his own with the injury to Patrick Ewing last season, and Charlie Ward is the point guard. And Jeff Van Gundy, the former Pat Riley assistant, is the New York Knicks coach. Well, the Knicks have had their way with the Heat here at the Garden in regular season play. 20-2. And the game underway. The officials, Joe Crawford, Leon Wood, and Scott Foster. Knicks control the opening tap. These two last met, of course, in the first round of the playoffs last season, an ugly series. Larry Johnson, who got into a fracas with Alonzo Mourning in that series, kicks the ball out of bounds.
Denial defense, that's what Alonzo Mourning is going to have to do. The beautiful flash across the lane by Ewing, completely shut down by Miami's stifling defense.
Alonzo Mourning shoots over Ewing and rims out. On the floor, taken back by the Heat, but then P.J. Brown steps out of bounds.
Well, we've seen both teams make mistakes, and I think the key for the victor is the ability to score quick and easy. And that's something the Miami Heat want to learn how to do as they get through the first month of the season.
Marley's checking Allen Houston. On the pick and roll, Ewing free for a moment. He finds an open Sprewell, but the Miami defense recovers. Larry Johnson on Mourning. Up and under, no good. And finally rebounded by Brown of Miami.
Tom, Jeff Van Gundy telling us before the game that he really wanted the Knicks to keep the ball moving. And that time, everyone who touched it, Larry Johnson, Sprewell, Ewing, they all came to a dead stop with it. That won't get it done.
P.J. Brown, first bucket of the game. Sprewell, guarded by Mashburn.
Well, Tom, the concern for Pat Riley after the first game was their defensive energy. The Miami Heat are a team of defensive intensity and will and effort, and he didn't think it was there, but it's here early at the start of this one.
Mourning misses the fall away. Ewing collars the rebound.
No need for Alonzo Mourning to fade away against Larry Johnson in the post.
Tap back out to Houston. Takes it to the rim and scores. Hardaway against Ward.
I think the New York Knicks would be well served by double-teaming Hardaway a lot. Get the ball out of his hands.
Mourning missed the layup. Ewing with the outlet to Ward. Johnson runs the floor and gets the easy from Charlie Ward.
Now that's what the Knicks want to do. That's the team they want to become. Pushing it up the floor, getting layups. They don't have to become a jump shooting team.
Ewing forces the miss, gets the rebound, the quick outlet, and Larry Johnson in transition.
There was part of that new role you were talking about, Ewing rebounding and getting the outlet.
Patrick Ewing cut the angle off from Alonzo Mourning. Mourning wanted the call, no one waited, and Charlie Ward looks ahead, and it's an easy two for, isn't that the power forward?
Larry Johnson, probably the shortest power forward in the league, maybe the history of the NBA, Steve.
Mashburn with a nice spin move, and then goaltending called. Credit the basket to Jamal Mashburn, his first.
Look at all of the Miami Heat. The one thing you know about them, no pat on them. This is a lean, mean group. Mashburn has dropped a ton, spent all of the time during the lockout working with a personal trainer. Looks to have his best season since being in Miami.
Ewing misses a 15-footer. Mashburn the rebound.
That's a great shot, though, for Ewing. Quickly in rhythm out of Allen Houston's post-up.
Mashburn still playing with a couple of pins in his thumb from the injury of last season. The doctors told him he would never be able to palm a basketball again. He was surprised when he came back this season, and despite the 3 pins in that thumb, was able to reach down, palm the basketball, which has been an important part of his game.
Oh, the incredible recuperative powers of the human body, if given the time. Mashburn probably at the top of his game in his brief NBA career.
Marley with a 3.
Marley did not make a three-point attempt. One of the 14 greatest three-point shooters in the history of this league. Did not make one in the game Friday night against Detroit, where the Heat just ran off their own court.
Now they got a couple of mismatches. Johnson against Moore, pops over the top. They had Ewing inside, but Larry Johnson got a little feeling going right now. Second hoop of the ball game for him.
And the Knicks got the lead to 1.
Tom, with Charlie Ward pressing in the backcourt, that's something that virtually every team is going to do against Miami. With Sean Leonard being out of the line, they really don't have other guys that can handle the ball.
Hardaway backs off, nails the jump shot, his first basket.
There is nothing for a slump that's better than seeing your first shot go in and see if that bodes well for him the entire afternoon.
I think that was a pass. Charlie Ward to Patrick Ewing. Ewing under pressure from Mourning misses the shot. Mashburn takes it out on the break.
Rebounding is going to be critical all season long for New York.
Ewing the deflection, Houston the steal. Here's Johnson again, beating the defense down court.
Van Gundy telling us that he believes that Larry Johnson can be the best running power forward in the league this year. He's lost 25 pounds himself.
He has half a dozen points. Brown misses. Mourning goes over Sprewell to get the offensive board.
2 guys that are going to make plays for the Miami Heat. One is with the ball, and that's Mashburn, and they're going to rely on his ability to beat people one-on-one, and when he doesn't, make a play for someone else. Marley open.
And Marley's 2 for 2 to open the game. 5 points, and the Heat up by 4.
Steve, granted that Mashburn needs to get offensive looks. He's been playing on the perimeter. Right now, the Knicks are going to take a timeout.
Knicks take a timeout. Miami Heat on an 11-8 run. They have the lead. Miami leads New York 11-8. Latrell Sprewell in his second regular season game since November of '97 for his career, all with Golden State before being traded to New York, averaging 20 points a game. Got a rough reception from the fans in Orlando on Friday night, but a warm greeting from the New York Knicks faithful here at the Garden today. And for more on that, let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, I spoke to Latrell before the game, and he said he's been very surprised at the reaction here from the New York fans. He said he expected a mixed reaction, didn't expect that he would be so warmly accepted so quickly here. Says he knows when he goes on the road, he feels that everybody is going to be booing him, and that's probably going to be forever. As he makes a nice move to the basket there, but misses. Says that's probably going to be forever, Tom. He can accept and deal with that, he says, and if I don't keep playing well here, they'll change in a heartbeat as well. Tom?
All right, Jim, Jamal Mashburn getting behind the New York defense for the layup.
The defensive matchup for the Knicks all season long is going to be Latrell Sprewell guarding the other team's small forward. That time he got caught underneath on his left-handed flail. Mashburn easy in transition at the other end.
This is what the Knicks don't want. The ball to stop, and Ewing has to be stuck out on the perimeter trying to create something. Defense swallows Larry Johnson.
Up against the shot clock. Shot blocked. Miami takes it the other way with a 13-8 lead.
Both of these teams are used to playing real hard, physical, man-to-man, on-the-ball defense. We're going to see an adjustment by the Knicks. We'll see how the Miami Heat defend the rest of the afternoon.
Air ball from Mashburn, perhaps partially deflected by Sprewell.
Tom, Mashburn is playing a perimeter game with the rare exception of the fast break opportunity. Riley wants him down low. He's got a 3 or 4 inch height advantage and probably 30 pounds weight advantage over Latrell Sprewell. He can get to the hoop at will.
Allen Houston against Marley. Shot clock at 5. Houston short. Marley clears it for the Heat.
Miami's defense at least 100% better than they were Friday night against Detroit.
One of the reasons they're making shots. I mean, your defensive energy always going to be better when you see the ball go in. And when they were playing Detroit, Detroit had the better offensive energy.
Well, Detroit looked marvelous on opening night. They're playing Indiana this afternoon.
Bad-looking shot from Sprewell, and Miami with another rebound. And again, Mashburn beats Sprewell down the court.
Van Gundy needs a timeout desperately because Sprewell's getting beat in transition. He's standing there watching his jump shots or drives miss. In the ultimate transition game, basketball, Mashburn really taking advantage.
Mashburn was 6 points early, beating the defense down the court for the easy layup, and Miami has a 17-8 lead on the New York Knicks. Miami controlling the boards as well. They are out-rebounding the Knicks 10-2.
Van Gundy said that the keys for this game for New York would be how do they rebound? How are they going to control their turnovers? Are they going to be able to keep Patrick Ewing out of foul trouble? Third quarter points you see from Friday night, 14. That just won't get it done at all.
Well, I think there's a couple of things the Knicks can do to take some of the pressure off of that rebounding. Since they're a small team, they got to start creating turnovers against their opponents. So if they can get up and challenge the Miami Heat in the passing lane, make sure that they're making them make decisions they don't want to make, that will reduce a lot of that rebound pressure.
Steve, do you think that offensive players like Sprewell and Allen Houston can get out for a long season and pressure on the defensive perimeter?
Well, I think so, because at the end of it, you're going to get a cheap shot. And you know how offensive players love easy fouls. Mourning on the foul.
Mourning fouls Larry Johnson as the Miami Heat get Kurt Thomas into the game for the first time. Thomas, who played for Miami for a couple of years.
Played terrific basketball in his first year at Miami, then a series of 4 broken ankles for Kurt Thomas. It really derailed his career. He was marvelous in the opener at Orlando in the first half, got virtually 0 time in the second half.
Now, they like Kurt Thomas because he's got a good touch, a good feel and sense for the game. Foul on his first drive. So the big guys for the Miami Heat have to make sure they're not stuck out on the perimeter and they move their feet. That's twice now. Larry Johnson beating Alonzo Mourning, and off the dribble, you've got Kurt Thomas beating P.J. Brown.
Right.
Well, such confidence by Kurt Thomas. The first time he touches the ball, right to the hoop, earns the foul, and a much-needed trip to the line for the Knicks.
Log on to MSNBCSports.com for in-depth NBA coverage, and the Big Redhead, Bill Walton, provides analysis and commentary on the moves made by every team. Plus, email Bill your questions. Vote for the team you think will win the title at MSNBCSports.com. Snapper, you have any questions for Bill?
Well, I'm saving him because, you know, after the first week, he's going to change his initial response.
I love that internet. We get into it on everything.
Mashburn bringing the ball up court. Larry Johnson is now switched to the defensive role on Mashburn. Hardaway misses and rebounded by L.J.
Riley loves to post up Tim Hardaway. But does he have the perimeter players without Vashawn Leonard, without Eric Murdoch to exploit that weapon?
Mourning and Ewing battling for the rebound, and Alonzo Mourning is called for his second foul.
Yeah, both wearing the same number, but the 33 in black is getting the worst of it here. Has not gotten a field goal, picked up a couple of fouls, and fouls have always been a problem for Mourning, particularly against the Knicks. And, you know, he's a very emotional player who feels that the world is against him, and he's got to fight that battle every time out.
And, Steve, no real backup in the post for Pat Riley. Here comes Clarence Weatherspoon into the lineup for his first regular season action as a Miami Heat.
Weatherspoon, 5.5 years in Philadelphia, half year at Golden State. In his 6th season from Southern Miss, and as Bill said, did not play Friday night. Pat Riley admitting to us yesterday that Clarence was one of the players he had to find a way to sort of work into the lineup. He was having trouble figuring out the right combination.
But the Heat are playing with much more energy tonight as Mashburn finally works his way down into the post where he'll be most effective against the Knicks, the shortest team, as you said, Tom, in the NBA this year.
That one at the expense of Larry Johnson was the 8th point for Mashburn. Ward loses it. Last touch by Miami.
Tough call there against Miami's collapsing defense. Charlie Ward, a horrendous night in the opener. Pat Riley knows that he can pressure Charlie Ward. Turnovers always a problem there.
The best friend of the New York Knicks has been the open court. They have not really stung their opponents in the half-court. Second basket for Allen Houston.
Good ball fake, got Allen the open jump shot, cuts the lead to 8. Hardaway penetrates, finds Weatherspoon. His first shot goes.
Weatherspoon, his first real audition on the national stage, playing for some of the teams that traditionally lived at the bottom of the NBA pond.
The foul against Dan Farley, running right through Kurt Thomas. If you're looking at the Knicks right now, and you've got to look at Patrick Ewing being guarded by P.J. Brown. Chris Childs in the game, Charlie Ward out.
Kurt Thomas has shown a lot, Steve, in his first couple games with the Knicks. He may be the guy that eventually does replace the great Charles Oakley.
This is a sleeker Knick team without Oakley, and Allen Houston takes it to the basket, scores his 6th point.
Question for Kurt Thomas, will he be able to be the durable player and fierce warrior on a day-in, day-out basis that Oakley was?
As you said, only 23 games the last 2 years, mostly with right ankle problems. Mashburn has only missed 2 shots today. He's 4 of 6.
Terrific outlet by Houston.
Childs for Thomas, and a Miami foul. We'll take a break with 2:40 left in the opening quarter. Allen Houston keeping the New York Knicks in the game. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Coming up next, the LA Lakers face the team that's ended their playoff dreams 2 years straight, the Utah Jazz. The race for the rings is on, next on NBC.
We're back in New York, where there's been a lot of discussion about the nature of this Knicks team. Is it a transition team? Is it a half-court team, as it has been featuring Patrick Ewing? We asked Jeff Van Gundy about Patrick's role and the nature of this team.
I think it's all about emphasizing people's strengths. I think Latrell's obviously very good in the open floor, as is Larry, and Allen as well. So we're going to emphasize them, hopefully, with Patrick doing a bulk of the defensive rebounding, getting it out, pushing it, seeing if we have something in transition. And then if we don't, then we flow into half court, and then Patrick's going to be our primary post-up option. And it's not going to be the sole thing we go to in half court, but he will be our primary post-up option.
So we've seen some transition basketball and some half-court post-up. Ewing on the low block today.
Easy baskets have always been a problem for the New York Knicks in this decade, Tom. They've got to find a way to where it's free-flowing, where it's up and down. He just can score in bunches, and then not every single point comes after an incredible maximum effort.
Kurt Thomas hits 1 of 2. Patrick Ewing is on the bench at the moment with Chris Dudley replacing him. And Thomas takes that rebound, gets it to Childs.
Terrific defense, Chris Childs, forcing Hardaway into a careless, too casual of a shot attempt.
Kurt Thomas.
Thomas couldn't make a free throw, but he can make a 15-foot jump shot. Now, I want to know how that works.
He looks good, Steve, in every aspect of his game, including the fouling department.
Just fouled Weatherspoon.
What Thomas does very well, and a lot of big people don't, is turn and face the basket. He takes a look, decides where he has an advantage, goes right over Weatherspoon, gets his first 2 from the field.
Well, Kurt Thomas was a big-time scorer. He's got the first foul now, but he's a big-time scorer in college, 29 points a game. In fact, one of only 3 players to lead the NCAA in scoring and rebounding in the same year.
Not many new faces on this Miami team, but one of them, Terry Porter, into the game, as Mashburn misses the jump hook.
Look at Allen Houston in transition. He kept the ball alive for the Knicks defensively.
Now, if the Knicks make a mistake, it's when Dudley's in the ball game and they look to feature him in the post. You're not going to get a lot of offensive energy from him, so you want to be somebody that moves him and gets him in a position to get a rebound.
You continue to pick on Chris Dudley. The Knicks play very good ball when he's on the court.
Pick and roll, Marley gets it to Hardaway, or Porter it is, who hits the 3. So Terry Porter, instant dividends, nails a 3-point shot.
Well, they better hurry up and start playing good, because the Miami Heat are making shots here in the first quarter of play.
Final minutes of that first quarter. Thomas fouled as he takes it to the basket.
Miami Heat ball movement, something that was non-existent in their opener. The perimeter swing, the pick, continually kicking the ball to the next guy. How did Minnesota ever let Terry Porter go?
Here's Kurt Thomas to the Knick free throw line. He has had an impact since coming off the Knick bench. In fact, if you remember, at one time, the Heat were out-rebounding the Knicks 10-2. Since Thomas has come in, New York has a 7-2 rebounding edge, so he is doing the job on the boards for Jeff Van Gundy.
And what the Knicks want to do right now is keep the game close. They're down 7. Thomas has come in and paid dividends at both ends of the floor, looking for another free throw, but only gets 1 of 2.
Sprewell with the offensive rebound, and then Mashburn deflects it out of bounds. Knicks will get another chance. 54.1 seconds left in the first.
Bring it out, play 2 for 1. Shoot here, use the shot clock, shoot at 40. After running 14 off the clock, and then you'll get the last shot.
Allen Houston doesn't wait that long.
Just get it and make a long one quickly. And
Allen's 4 of 5 to open the game.
He had a very, very poor start, but he seems to be relaxed and free-flowing, and look for a good game from him this afternoon.
Brown dumps inside and reversed through by Weatherspoon.
if the Heat could get that sort of offensive aggressiveness from P.J. Brown on a consistent basis, they would be a much better team.
Chris Childs calls the defense to sleep. First basket for Childs. It's a 5-point game with 15 seconds left.
Rarely will you see Terry Porter break down defensively like he did that time against Chris Childs.
Closing seconds of the first quarter. Mashburn one-on-one against Sprewell. Couldn't hit it. And the first quarter will come to a close. Well, the Knicks closed the quarter with a 10-5 run to get back into it. But Miami, thanks to the shooting of Jamal Mashburn, ends the first quarter with the lead. At the end of one at Madison Square Garden, it's Miami 26 and New York 21. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
You are watching the NBA on NBC.
Getting ready for the start of the second quarter with Miami leading New York 26-21. Game 7 of the playoff series between the Knicks and Heat 2 years ago belonged to Tim Hardaway. He led all scorers with 38 points, shooting 6 of 10 from three-point range as Miami cruised to victory, overcoming a 3-1 deficit. But last year, behind Allen Houston's game-high 30 points, the Knicks won the decisive Game 5 at Miami, cheered on by an injured Patrick Ewing.
Last year, Miami just routed everyone in the Atlantic Division. Remember, Ewing missed 56 games. The Knicks able to play 500 ball. The 500 ball won't get it done if you're trying to get it to the championship.
Now, you look at the Knicks, and if you're talking about getting back in the ball game, this is an outfit that they have a chance against. Weatherspoon and Mashburn are the legitimate scorers as they try to post Weatherspoon, getting an offensive foul against him.
I don't know whether, let's see, I think it's on Thomas. Spoon and Thomas were bumping, doing the bump and grind, and it'll be number 2 on Kurt Thomas.
Tom, with this new sense of freshness, with so much optimism around the league this year, the rivalries, get out of here, Steve. You never got a rebound in your life.
But you bring that ball down here where we can get it, big fella. We're going to strip it away.
Never bring it down. You just tuck it right underneath the chin, get that elbow out so those little guards can't come in.
Keith Haskins into the game for the Miami Heat as Mashburn looks for a screen from Brown.
Oh, they missed a give and go to Mashburn. P.J. Brown's got to dump that back.
He missed a long shot. 4 rebounds for Kurt Thomas and stays hot and hits the 3. 11 points for Allen Houston on 5 of 16, and he nearly makes the steal.
Had a a conversation with Allen before the game, John, and he knew that he didn't have it on Friday night. He was too tentative, too passive, waiting to see what Sprewell was going to do, waiting to see what Ewing. Today, he said he was going to come out with the attitude of, hey, this is my game, and I'm putting the ball up.
I think he proved that he had entered the realm of stardom last season when Ewing was injured, and here's an illegal defense call against the Knicks. With Ewing out, Allen Houston became the go-to guy and responded very well for the Knicks.
Now remember what Pat Riley told us yesterday. I've got to keep at least a third scorer out there. So he brings Mashburn, Weatherspoon, and Mourning back into the ball game so they can keep their offensive energy up. Mourning hasn't gotten a field goal yet.
Houston leads the break to Childs. Passed up the outside shot to set it up on the half court.
Well, they got a mismatch. Thomas against Porter trying to get it inside, but he can't hang on to the ball.
Great recovery on the defensive rotation by Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo's 0 for 4, struggling offensively. One of the problems with Miami's offense is that they really only have 3 scorers. They have Hardaway, Mashburn, and Alonzo. And even if those guys each get 20 points a game, that's only a total of 60. You still need a lot more to win regularly.
There's Mourning's first field goal.
In transition again.
But that is the reason you're looking to get some transition, quick strike points, because it takes a lot of pressure off of the big 3.
Steve, I used to love to throw that ball out like that to you, and you never let that ball bounce. Sprewell, he was looking for a favorable bounce. You got to hit it in the air. At least put your hand on it. Don't wait for a good lucky bounce.
That was the turnover, and now a New York foul call. Chris Dudley assessed his first.
And believe it or not, Tom, Steve was lightning quick to the offensive end.
Why do you think I have trouble believing that?
I always say you can always find a way to get to the other end a lot quicker when there are points to be had.
Allen Houston gets his first rest. Larry Johnson in for New York. Mourning misses the fall away again. Thomas clears for New York.
Dudley has great range on his defensive extension there, forcing the fadeaway by Alonzo.
Alonzo's only 1 of 6.
With Houston out of the ball game, let's see how Sprewell and Larry Johnson re-energize themselves at the offensive end turnover against the Knicks.
Timeout called by Miami. Van Gundy can't believe it. He wanted a jump ball.
No jump ball. Timeout called Miami. So New York now with 3 straight turnovers, and they trail by 4.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You either have it in you or you don't. Gatorade, is it in you? And by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
NBC tonight.
He's wild, he's outrageous, and he's coming to NBC tonight. Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Do I have something in my teeth?
7 Eastern.
Center comparison, neither one a factor yet, but this game just getting started. Patrick Ewing yet to convert from the field.
Dudley with a help defense on Weatherspoon, but it leaves Mourning open. He's 1 for 7 now, and a loose ball foul call.
Haskins right through Chris Childs, so they'll walk it the other way and set up their offense this time.
Steve, for New York on the defensive end, granted they're so small, but Chris Childs, Allen Houston in particular, Sprewell occasionally, they've been cutting that foul line for those long rebounds and saving what rebounds they can get for their team.
Knicks with the ball down 4.
Now, one thing you know about Sprewell, he is a streaky offensive player. You don't know which shot, what play is going to get him going, and we haven't seen him have that offensive burst yet. But before this afternoon is over, look for Sprewell to have a big quarter.
Look at the versatility of Thomas. He's been guarding big guys. Now he's got Mashburn on the wing.
He's not guarding. He's not guarding.
He funneled him to the big man. He funneled him to the baseline to the big man, to the block shot out of bounds. What could be better than that?
If you know anything about the two-step, you'll know that he didn't, and he just dances right around him. He's funneling him a lot too late.
Steve, that's called perfect team defense. They called a foul?
That's why he's shooting.
It's the third foul on Kurt Thomas as Mashburn collects his 9th point. Patrick Ewing is in, and so is Marcus Camby for the New York Knicks, replacing Dudley and Thomas. Camby played only 19 seconds in the Knicks' opening loss to Orlando.
Camby's a flyer, and I think he has to find a way to be effective at the defensive end. This is a guy that's very good at blocking shots, particularly off the ball. He can run as well as any big man in the NBA, and he's just got to get down and make himself do it every single night out.
Knicks have turned the ball over 4 consecutive possessions. See if they can get a bucket here. Childs with a step on Porter. Finds an open Johnson for 3.
Three-point shooting will be critical for the Knicks this year. They lost their main weapon in the Sprewell trade when John Starks went out there. Allen Houston and Sprewell are not noted three-point shooters, so whatever they get will be a bonus.
Larry Johnson now with 9 points. Here's Mourning on the low block against Ewing. Jump hook way off the mark. Fights for the rebound. Mourning blocked by Camby. Weatherspoon and a Knick foul.
Whenever Mourning has this kind of start, he has a tendency to rush everything. And right now, he is rushing. He really wants to get into it at the offensive end. That's a quick shot, and he really wasn't ready to go up with it, and it cost him.
But Steve, he's getting lots of shot attempts, which is great for any player out there. On the other hand, Patrick Ewing looks very sluggish and stiff. Alonzo Mourning just 1 for 9.
Sets a high screen here and rolls to the hoop. Weatherspoon open. Shot short. Childs has it for the Knicks. Heat back on defense. Now they set it up on the half court. Larry Johnson is... Mashburn fell down. Johnson forced it up. Then got it back for New York.
No reset of the shot clock. Knicks have got to go quick.
They didn't realize it. They tried to post, and the defense of Miami and Hardaway forced the turnover.
He had numbers, and LJ broke it up.
On the 2-on-1, the man without the ball for Miami.
Sprewell, an air ball on the 3.
That's a great shot if it goes. It's horrendous if it's an air ball.
Mourning over Ewing, short. And Sprewell in a hurry for New York.
Right now, Camby's lost. They've got to find a way to cut him loose and let him just play free-flowing Johnson. So now the Knicks have become a deep shooting team when they can get inside.
Marcus Camby doesn't look physically ready to play in this type of game.
What do you mean?
Mashburn's going to test him right here.
He doesn't look like he has any muscular definition.
He got Mashburn on the arm. Marcus Camby called for the foul. 6:26 left till halftime. The Miami Heat continue to lead the NBA on NBC. Well, the celebrities out for the Knicks home opener. Isaac Hayes sang the national anthem before today's game. Woody Allen is in his usual seat. And world champion Derek Jeter. And Jim Gray is here today. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. The commissioner is here. David, what is your major emphasis right now in trying to reconnect with the fans after the setback of the lockout?
Well, to tell them we're sorry that we were gone for the better part of a year, make some gestures like free exhibition games, open scrimmages, and the like, $10 seats. But by and large, saying to them, watch us, we're going to try to be much more fan-friendly.
David, how do you feel the quality of play has been in the first couple nights of the NBA?
Surprisingly strong, very intense, and clearly the fans are coming back.
You're pleased then with everything that's going on?
We're pleased, but we can't relax. We've got to keep pushing away at it.
Do you have a major concern with the short season at all?
I guess perhaps the teams that aren't as deep as some others may play their starters a little bit long. I think depth is going to out, and we don't want to risk too many injuries.
Injuries are a big problem. That's the constant thing you hear from the coaches. So many games and so many nights.
Well, that's true, but we used to do that. I'm just concerned. That's why we let the team stay at 14 for the first couple of weeks on their roster sizes. We think we can deal with that, and we're trying real hard.
David, best of luck. Thanks for your time.
It's great to be back.
Still love this game. Patrick doing on a bench. Tom?
All right, Jim. The Miami Heat in fact, are in the first of a 3 consecutive night string when they'll be in action. And Pat Riley was saying to us that all the hype has been about this shortened season, magnifying everything. But he said you shouldn't panic. There's a lot of basketball to be played, even with 50 games.
The key is to take it a day at a time and get the best out of each and every one of your guys all the time. How is that not steps? Look like the road runner trying to convert.
NBC tonight.
Epic miniseries with the music of a generation. Critics love it. See why. The 60s tonight on NBC.
The 60s tonight at 9 Eastern.
On that last play, we saw Marcus Camby at his best. If he can get out on the wing, receive the ball with the basket in front of him, that's when he's going to be an effective player for the Knicks. And that's part of this transition that the Knicks are trying to make. From a team that was a power team to a team that's athletic and quick, they'll learn how to shoot free throws.
They are 3 of 10 at the free throw line. Miami's taken only 4, all by Mashburn, and they've hit all 4.
Camby has the athleticism. He has the length. Oh, holding on Childs that time, trying to deny Tim Hardaway.
Hardaway was
Gundy said they were going to try to do all day yesterday, and that's to try to deny possession to Tim Hardaway, make him run away from the ball, make some of these guys who don't handle it as fluidly, like Marley, like Mashburn, like P.J. Brown, come out and have to be the one who puts it on the floor.
First.
Now Charlie Ward back in the ball game. Childs had an effective run out there, even though he didn't really get going at the offensive end. A hot shooter for the Knicks back in the ball game. Allen Houston replacing Larry Johnson.
Allen Houston and Larry Johnson have been up to par scoring for the Knicks today. It's been Patrick Ewing and Latrell Sprewell that have struggled early. Hardaway makes it 33-29 Miami.
In the Garden, Hardaway has been his quiet self so far here in the first half. Only 1 field goal. Ewing deep.
Jump hook on the roll over P.J. Brown. 5 points for Patrick.
Tom, Ewing got a good look at the basket, but he was open for 4 seconds before Charlie Ward ever got him the ball. When he comes off that screen, that's the time you got to zip it to him right when he's there for the layup or the dunk.
Mashburn, open shot. Jamal Mashburn, the game's top scorer. He has 14.
Yeah, he was their leading scorer on Friday night against Detroit, and he has spent the entire offseason and during the lockouts really reevaluating themselves and getting his focus in his appearance this afternoon. Ewing, another foul against P.J. Brown.
Jamal Mashburn, during the lockout, hiring a personal trainer for the first time and in the best shape of his career and healthy. As Alonzo Mourning comes back in and Weatherspoon goes to the bench. And Mark Davis makes his first appearance in the Miami lineup as Mashburn gets a rest.
Tom, it always amazes me how sometimes very late in players' career they get the realization that physical fitness and conditioning is a critical part of the game.
Ewing against Mourning. Tapped. Camby, and it falls off. Camby had a good swipe at it, but it wouldn't go down.
Well, a couple of lost souls from opening night, Marcus Camby and Weatherspoon getting significant minutes and making a good contribution tonight.
Hardaway pulls up on Charlie Ward. He has 5, and the Heat have a 6-point edge.
Oh, Ewing.
Ward got him to Patrick, and he's fouled by P.J. Brown.
That's the kind of quick hitting that the Knicks need with 3 guys involved. Starts with the pick and roll. They come off, they swing it to the weak side, and then Ewing flashing wide open. Charlie Ward getting rid of the ball virtually on his reception of it.
Second foul on P.J. Brown as Ewing misses. And don't forget game 2 of our doubleheader. The Lakers and the Utah Jazz, a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals. We last saw those two teams. Utah was celebrating a 4-game sweep of the Lakers. Jazz and the Lakers coming up next here on NBC.
And have the Lakers made the adjustments necessary to beat Utah? They already made one, and that's getting Kobe Bryant 40 minutes on opening night.
And I think that we would agree that maturity is the thing they needed most in order to try to catch Utah on the West. Mourning over Patrick Ewing, still cold. Alonzo Mourning struggling. He's 1 of 11.
He's 1 of 11 and they're up by 6. That's a great sign for Miami because you know he's going to make some of those.
Allen Houston, Marley right on him. Canby. Deflected by Brown. Hardaway saved it. Hustling play. Here's the pass to Davis. Try to feed it to the trailer Mourning, and the Knicks pick it off. And then Ewing travels.
They threw it to the wrong guy. Allen Houston was wide open. They threw it to Patrick. Patrick's got to be the finisher there as opposed to the guy in the midcourt.
That's how you spell center.
You virtually never want to give the ball to a guy like Patrick in between the foul lines.
How do you spell center? T-U-R-N-O.
A walking turn.
I tell you, Steve loves to dog the big guys. They're the guys that get you the championships, Steve.
There have been 7 T-U-R-N-O-V-E-Rs by New York in this quarter. 6-point game.
I'm Hannah Storm in New York. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll hear more from the Knicks' Latrell Sprewell, how his childhood had a profound influence on him.
And I know how I felt as a kid and seeing my parents fight and seeing what my mom had to go through. I never wanted to have my kids have to see that, you know, because I know how I felt as a kid seeing my dad hit on my mom. So I thought that was the worst thing.
Sprewell's conversation with Peter Vesey at halftime. Plus, we'll take a look at one of the league's heated rivalries, the Jazz and Lakers. That's Game 2 of our NBA on NBC doubleheader today. It's all coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report. Let's go back to the Garden and rejoin Tom Hammond, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, and Jim Gray.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much, and I hope you were able to see that first part of the interview with Latrell Sprewell on Showtime, and coming up more at halftime. There's a future New York Liberty star getting warmed up here at the Garden. Backdoor cut by Hardaway from Mourning, and the ball deflected out of bounds by New York.
So much more movement in Miami's offense, which was seriously lacking in Friday's opener against Detroit. They just stood around. Today it's crisp as can be.
The rebounding has turned around for New York, and Ewing grabs another. That's his 6th.
Nice quick outlet to push up the floor.
Ewing certainly fulfilling that rebounding and outlet role.
But why does Charlie Ward come to a dead stop with it? Just keep it on the move. That just allows Miami's defense to set, and they are so fundamentally sound, Miami. But they're just not going to give you anything easy, and that's what New York needs desperately.
8 on the shot.
Ewing. Rebounded by Mourning. That's 5 boards for Alonzo. Davis. And Ewing collars another. There's the outlet. This time Ward gets it right into the hands of Allen Houston. Johnson scrambling. Taken away from him by P.J. Brown.
Turnovers have been a problem for New York because they're mostly unforced. Hardaway for 3.
And he nails it top of the key. Hardaway pulls up.
That is Tim Hardaway at his best. Coming up, the defense is retreating because of the turnover. When he dips his head down, you know he's going to pull up for that 3.
He has 8 points in this first half, coming to the 2-minute mark.
Fine closeout defense by Marley.
Outshot by Allen Houston. Took it to the rim over 2 defenders for his 13th point.
Van Gundy's barking at Charlie Ward to get up and put some pressure on Hardaway. Don't let him get a run at you.
Heat lead by 7. Mourning cut off by Ewing, so he falls back and scores. Only his 2nd basket of the game.
If Alonzo Mourning can learn to take what the defense gives him, as opposed to always trying to force that jump hook into the middle, he will vastly expand his game.
Again, Marley's playing too close to Allen Houston. That's what's getting them in trouble. That's why Allen Houston's able to get the initial.
Alonzo Mourning always wants to get to that middle, but Patrick and most of his opponents are going to play him for that middle. He can always get that little baseline shot, but he's got to think about that and anticipate it as opposed to being so persistent about forcing what's not there.
That loose ball foul was the third on P.J. Brown. And New York has now missed 6 free throws in a row. They're only 3 of 13 on the game. And you know, when Allen Houston misses, that is a serious problem.
It is a contagious problem for the Knicks this afternoon. Houston dances the second one in. He's got 6 1/4.
Well, the free throw shooting did him in Friday night in Orlando. They're 13 for 23. The three-point shooting down there in Orlando did not help him either. 2 for 12. Nice hesitation.
But Ewing comes to help and alters the Hardaway shot. Ball sails out of bounds. It'll go to the Knicks. Ewing with a good help defense.
The collapsing defense, which the Knicks have to play. Charlie Ward just left out to dry. Ewing closes it off beautifully. He had his left hand to block any passing lane. Outstanding team defense by Patrick Ewing.
Ewing with a sore knee and maybe a little overweight after leading the Players Union during the lockout, and some questions about his game, but he's doing the rebounding and the defense today for sure.
The mistakes that the Knicks are making are ones of running an offense that they're not familiar with, passing, cutting, and Charlie Ward was not looking for a return pass, turned it over. Mashburn.
It rolls through for Jamal, who has 16 first half points. Final 37 seconds of the second quarter.
Mashburn exploiting the physical differences in this short New York team. Getting to the hoop at will.
Sprewell still can't hit. Larry Johnson with a follow won't go down. He got it back and feeds Allen Houston.
Hold for one shot here.
He was ready to pull the trigger. He should have let that shot go.
Latrell Sprewell 0 for 4 in the game.
He's the one who should have let it go, Allen Houston.
They're going to double and get the ball out of his hands, so somebody else is going to get this last shot. Ewing inside.
And worked out to perfection for New York. They got the ball out of Houston's hands, but they worked it around to get Patrick Ewing right underneath and a chance for a three-point play.
They got the three-point play that Allen Houston passed up. The nice penetration and dish. Patrick waiting. Who was the foul called on? They called that on Mourning?
Rebound. We're checking. No, it was on Davis.
That would have been Mourning's third, so a good break for Pat Riley.
2 seconds left. Hardaway can't get it off. First half comes to a close. Well, Patrick Ewing has doubled the point production of Alonzo Mourning. Is only 2 of 12 to start the game. But the problem for the New York Knicks in that second quarter, turnovers. They committed 9 turnovers in the second to only 2 for the Miami Heat. And they've been unable to stop Jamal Mashburn, who closes the first half with 16 points. Miami leads New York 44-37 at halftime. Now second half starts. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Tom. I spoke to Jeff Van Gundy, the Knicks coach. Very upset about the 9 turnovers in the second quarter. Very upset about the 10 missed free throws in the first half. I said, what did you say to your team? He said, make them and don't. He says there's not a whole lot I can tell them at this point in the game. Let's just hope they make their free throws and are smart enough not to make the turnovers.
It's a simple game. Make them and don't.
It's a simple game to be played. Players make plays. Plays don't make players. It's not how many you take, it's how many you make. Let's get it up and down here.
Are these woodenisms we're hearing here?
They just resonate through my mind 24 hours a day, Tom.
The New York turnovers have been a group effort. Everybody that's played except Chris Dudley has at least one. And here's a New York foul on Miami's first possession.
And there's some of those quick hitting plays that you talked about, except the Miami Heat get it. A quick flash for P.J. Brown right under the rim, and Ewing late. You know, and that's what you can always find with quick hitting, quick moving plays. You'll find someone that goes asleep away from the ball, and you can get something good. Brown misses the free throw.
And a point guard, Tim Hardaway, who's delivering the ball on the money when the guy's open, not having to stand there and wait.
That was the second foul on Patrick Ewing. Ward tried to get it to Ewing right through his hands, deflected into the hands of Hardaway of Miami. Right by Charlie Ward, can't finish. And Larry Johnson with a rebound and then a wild elbow that did not connect.
He's just trying to clear some space for himself.
Sprewell for three. Still has not scored, but an offensive board by Ewing.
The crowd wants to see Sprewell get going. And again, the thing you have to remember about Sprewell, he's a player that can go over and then suddenly ignite and make 6 or 7 shots, get 18, 20 points in a quarter.
Ewing lost it, but off a Miami foot out of bounds. New York gets it back with 12 to shoot.
Well, Latrell is a 3-time All-Star. He's a 20-point career scorer. He's got a career high of 46 points. He can flat out fill it up.
But he's streaky, and I think that's what you have to understand about him. He is streaky in the nature of getting that 20 points a ball game. He is not Allen Houston in the terms of saying, I take 6 or 7 shots, I can make 5 of them.
Mashburn looking good today. He has 18 points and a 20-second timeout called by the Knicks. Mashburn is 7 for 11 shooting.
Tom, they made the adjustments. Pat Riley quickly realizing in the first half of the start of this game that Mashburn was staying on the perimeter against Sprewell. Tells him at halftime, get inside, post him up.
Well, you may have noticed the black patches being worn on the New York Knicks uniform this season in honor of their great coach, William Red Holtzman, who passed away in 1998. He coached the Knicks to 2 NBA titles, preaching defense and hitting the open man. 14 seasons, he won 613 games and a place in the Hall of Fame. And those 613 New York victories commemorated with a banner here in the rafters for Red Holtzman, the gentleman coach. And in fact, Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy also appear on that list of all-time Knick coaching leaders.
Red Holtzman, one of the classiest gentlemen in the history of basketball. Always positive, always upbeat, always trying to bring the best out of people. And what teams he had.
Ewing can't hit. Brown rebounds the miss. Miami with the ball, enjoying their biggest lead of the game, 11. Mourning, taken away by Houston.
Nice pass.
Larry Johnson. Rimmed out, got his own, missed again. Brown with a lead pass for Hardaway.
Larry resorting to the little flick shots. Doesn't have the explosive athleticism he used to.
Ewing got a piece of that, and it's a foul against 33, and loose ball variety. Alonzo Mourning, so the frustration for Mourning. He thought he got fouled against Allen. Houston does get the block taken against him, and now he picks up his 3rd personal, but a good quick move to his left for foul this afternoon.
So 3 on Zoe with 10 minutes left in the 3rd.
How many times, Steve, do you realistically get the ball back after you missed a little short gimme shot? You have to save those fouls for blocking shots.
Patrick Ewing over the former Toya center, Alonzo Mourning, the battle of former Georgetown centers, who also heated up in the summer pretty good with Dikembe Mutombo.
I'm just always amazed how these two guys are best of friends off the court and are fierce, vicious rivals on the court.
And one on the Knick end for Ewing. Another bucket on Miami end for Mourning. Here's Charlie Ward for 3.
First field goal for Charlie Ward. Played 14 minutes in that first half. Didn't even look to score. And then comes down 1 on 5 and laces a 3.
Marley dishing to Mourning for the jam.
Penetration and dish. Sprewell and Allen Houston really have to focus on denying that penetration. Even though Ewing's ultimately responsible for the basket, it all starts on the perimeter.
Well, the better half-court execution right now is going to the Miami Heat in black, and they've been able to move the ball, move people quicker than the New York Knicks. Larry Johnson to save.
Houston for 3. Good defense that time by Alonzo Mourning on Ewing. And Miami, nice catch by Mashburn.
With that one-handed stab. That was with the left that time, though.
Against Sprewell. Now the double down from Ward, who can't get back in time to stop Hardaway's 3.
Van Gundy needs a timeout. The Heat rolling right now. Miami is a superior team skill-wise in this game.
And they have their biggest lead, 55-42.
Down in the low post, the double team comes. Van Gundy didn't really want to come and double team, certainly not off of Tim Hardaway.
Miami Heat with their biggest lead, 55-42 on the Knicks.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Nike and by American Honda, a winning lineup of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans.
Skyline of the Big Apple and in Midtown Madison Square Garden. Sold out for the 264th consecutive game, but the home team trailing 55-42.
You know, the story of this game has been the play in the middle, and Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing, they both struggle in that first half of play. It's taken them some time to find a way to get into the ball game. Second half, a different story for Alonzo Mourning. A little bit more patient at the offensive end. They go into both sides of the basket. Better result for him here in the start of the second half.
Steve, Alonzo Mourning is moving more fluidly, more aggressively, more confidently right now than Patrick Ewing is. And the Knicks, their offensive production is just sliding. Both teams now, both big guys with equal number of shot attempts. Sort of a wash there.
Alonzo started 2 of 12, but he's hit his last 2. And Patrick, 9 points in the last 9 minutes. Sprewell still can't score. Ewing has a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds.
Nice decision by P.J. Brown. He thought he saw Tim Hardaway sneaking out for the long one. When in doubt, always throw the short outlet pass.
Now the ball game comes down to this. Can the Knicks break the tempo of the Miami Heat on a good offensive half-court execution? Now they're grinding them down. They've got to change the pace of the game, get to be a quick-striking team down by 15 points.
Here's Latrell Sprewell. He's played 25 minutes. He's 0 for 6, showing the rust. This is only his second game since November '97.
As Ewing counters for New York, as they try to get some sort of flow and quick offense. Nice defense that time by Ewing. Mashburn is killing the Knicks inside.
Sprewell will go to the free throw line in search of his first points of the game. NBC tonight.
The 60s epic miniseries with the music of a generation. Critics love it. See why. The 60s tonight on NBC.
The 60s tonight at 9 Eastern. Are you in that, Bill?
I thought I saw Steve Jones in that video right there, in the nice garb, and that's a special show. I'm really looking forward to.
You can't remember this.
That's the way you looked yesterday at our meeting. So Sprewell still shooting blanks.
Free throws atrocious as P.J. Brown gets a rest while Clarence Weatherspoon, who was solid for Pat Riley in the first half, gets ever more playing time.
Charles Sprewell shakes his head ruefully as he gets the second free throw down. It's 57-45 Miami.
Now, Sprewell's a competitor, and he'll find a way to get into this ball game. But the best way for them, the New York Knicks, is to try to get into an up-tempo game, force the mistakes out of the Miami Heat.
Bad looking shot. That was a mistake by Mourning. Sprewell drives on Mashburn. Got up and under, couldn't finish. LJ scraps for the rebound. Hardaway stripped it. Numbers Miami. Hardaway gives it up. Mashburn's pull up, rolls through, and Jamal Mashburn continues to light up Sprewell. He has 22 points.
It's the best game I've ever seen Jamal Mashburn play in all aspects. Under control, finishing on the break, not the strength of his game. Another turnover, New York.
Great anticipation by Hardaway in the passing lane. Then the crossover. Weatherspoon blocked once, twice, second time a foul. Jamal Mashburn, 9 of 13 shooting today. He's been the offensive star of the game. Clarence Weatherspoon will step to the free throw line. Spoon, the 3-time Metro Conference Player of the Year when he was at Southern Miss. Southern Miss retiring his number. He'll have one more free throw. And we'd like to remind you that this Monday night on TBS, you can catch the Los Angeles Lakers as they take on the San Antonio Spurs. We understand they've sold over 30,000 tickets at the Alamo Dome. That'll be Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TBS, the Lakers and the Spurs.
You have two of the premier centers, Shaquille, David Robinson. You got an emerging star in Tim Duncan. Still question marks about the backcourt and how much Sean Elliott has recovered for San Antonio.
Patrick Ewing, a giant step toward the hoop, got the roll.
Ewing's been the story for the Knicks here in the second half. In the first half, it was Johnson and Allen Houston, and there's been all Patrick Ewing here, but they're down 13, so they've got to dig in, make the Miami Heat become a perimeter shooting team.
Nice dish out.
And Porter misses the open three. Right back to Hardaway. Double clutch, too hard off the glass. Ewing clears.
With a good lead like that, that's the kind of play that Tim Hardaway needs to bring back out and reset.
Allen Houston penetrates to Larry Johnson. Blocked by Mourning. Tapped twice, he can't get it. Third time the charm for Larry Johnson. Battling Alonzo Mourning.
And then he turns and barks at Alonzo Mourning after taking 4 layup attempts to make one. Well, maybe if Charles Smith had made his 4th one a few years ago against Chicago, well, he could have barked a little bit himself.
The two former Hornet teammates don't care for each other, as is well known, but LJ has a double-double, 11 points and 10 boards, and here's Houston against Marley. Ewing open.
Ewing feels he's got that feeling, but that perimeter jumper hasn't been there for Patrick Ewing yet this afternoon. But the Knicks are trying to get down quicker. Riley sees that. He wants a timeout.
So the Miami Heat take the timeout as they've seen Patrick Ewing keep the Knicks in the game.
At least the Knicks are playing at a quicker pace, trying to force the action. 1 miss, 2, 3. Finally, he gets it to go down.
60-49 Miami. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Here are the rebounding leaders for the New York Knicks last season. And you see that Oakley and Mills no longer with the Knicks. So that's over 14 rebounds a game they have to replace. Who will pick up the slack? Well, a man that has today is Larry Johnson. He has 11 rebounds, 8 of them off the offensive board.
Remember when Larry Johnson came into the league, this was a guy that they'd go for 15 to 20 rebounds on a night. He was a terrific rebounder before he entered the back. Still has a very good timing, long arms, so he can be a factor for Van Gundy.
Knicks starting to extend their defense as the Heat up against the shot clock.
Witherspoon with 5 to shoot, nails it over Ewing.
That's the shot, though, that they want the Miami Heat to take. That will give them a chance to get the rebound, push it out, and score quickly.
See, but Clarence Witherspoon can make that shot on a consistent basis. As Isaiah Thomas tells me every day he can, then he'll be a huge addition for Miami.
Clarence rebounds the miss by Allen Houston. And Witherspoon, who didn't play in the opener, has 7 points tonight. He makes the entry pass to Mourning, who goes to the line for 2. As you see the other scores around the NBA.
That has been a tight ball game, seesawing back and forth. The Pistons now back on top, but they're showing that this is going to be a different Detroit Pistons team than it was a year ago. Remember last year, they couldn't win a close game. They couldn't buy a break, and they seem to have gotten new energy, certainly a new group of players.
Grant Hill looks better than ever. Jerry Stackhouse, a huge performance on the road. That's a great sign. They've got fresh legs in Detroit. They're running.
Next Sunday, before the Pacers meet the Lakers, watch a special Valentine's Day treat, NBA Playing by Heart. A collection of heartwarming features on NBA stars, including Jason Williams and Tom Gugliotti, whose passion for the game, is only exceeded by their love and support for their friends and their family. NBA Playing by Heart, that's next Sunday, 2:30 Eastern.
Miami has to be careful not to get conservative. Chris Childs, a careless turnover, plaguing the Knicks once again. The point guard play. It's going to be tough for the Knicks day in and day out with all the great point guards that the Eastern Conference has.
This has been an uncomfortable place for Chris Childs, and the crowd reacts to every mistake that he makes. You hear a chorus of boos coming down from up high. Hardaway against Houston.
Couldn't hit the shot. Larry Johnson with another rebound. A dozen boards for him.
Fierce on the glass today, Larry Johnson.
Trouble with New York has been turnovers. They have 14 of them. Charlie Ward got the roll.
There's also a lot of uncertainty for the Knicks, when to shoot. And Charlie Ward, a little hesitant, but pulled the trigger, keeps the game at 11 as Miami's ahead.
Looks for the cutters. And Ward stole it from the blind side. Ward
deceptive defensive posture that this Knicks team is trying to build is going to create those easy opportunities for Houston in transition.
10-2 run by the Knicks. Hardaway for three. Tough shot. Childs was all over him.
That got the crowd back in it. That little steal by Ward and the quick finish got the crowd back in it. And the Miami Heat are playing a perimeter game.
Kurt Thomas. Riley quickly to the timeout. Knicks are back in it. The crowd certainly right there.
22nd timeout taken by the Heat. Kurt Thomas has had a big game off the New York bench with a dozen points and some key boards as well.
Alonzo Mourning with the ball in the post. He's just going to hold it down low. He'll keep it high for a while. He puts it down low, and it's a handoff.
I thought Charlie Ward was the man who handed off. I didn't think he took it.
That ball, you've got to keep it behind the side of your head here. When he puts it right down there, inexcusable. Charlie Ward capitalizing magnificently. And with the runners behind the ball, that's how you score on the fast break.
Kurt Thomas with a half dozen points, including this last basket. And so Charlie Ward and Kurt Thomas helping the Knicks fight back into it. Charlie Ward, that was like the Statue of Liberty place that went to the wrong team.
You know, the one thing that Mourning and most centers don't expect in that situation is to be clean like he was, and then suddenly somebody comes from the other side and picks his pocket.
Didn't look like Alonzo was looking into the lane, trying to keep track of the other 9 players on the court.
Well, Mashburn, who has been the steadying influence out there for them on the offensive end, is back in the ball game.
Weatherspoon double teamed. Lost it. Childs pushes for New York. Houston was calling for it. Now gets the pass. Drives on Mashburn. Gets it up no good. Follow no good by Thomas. And Weatherspoon and Thomas tie up.
Tom, Miami's gotten out of their game. Tim Hardaway's forced a couple shots the last times. They've gone away from Jamal Mashburn. The turnovers, the fluidity, a little jostling for position, but everybody knows that the offensive man gets first choice of spots.
1:46 left in the third. New York in the midst of a 12-2 run that's carried them within 7 of Miami.
You know, they've been fighting uphill, so since the beginning of the ball game, and they've got to sustain this for the next 143. Houston on the drive.
Fed it back out to Ward. He got it to the open man, and it's for Chris Childs. Charlie saw it 2 now. Had a foot on the line at 2. And a backcourt foul on Childs.
It was a very tough call after Childs put some great defensive pressure. But it's the Knick ball movement that has really picked up. The penetration, you know Miami's defense is going to collapse. And then the extra swing pass. No, they don't have John Starks out there to fill up the three-point shot, but as long as something goes down, Van Gundy would be happy.
Childs, who is playing on the court at the same time as Charlie Ward, just picked up his 4th foul.
With Sprewell not being able to get going at the offensive end, they brought some familiarity out there, and that seemed to have settled them down because since that tandem has been in, they've been a better team.
Mourning against the shot clock, got the roll. Friendly roll for Zoe. He has 10 points.
The sense of momentum and the level of aggressiveness all with the Knicks right now. They've got to play the shot clock smartly here if they can get 2 for 1.
Inside the final minute of the quarter. Stolen by Mashburn. Behind the back. Mashburn against Childs. Dishes it off. And Porter is fouled by Charlie Ward.
Well, if you're the Knicks, you hate to see that. You get a turnover that leads to a fast break. And then when the foul is called, 2 and 3 of your players are laying flat on their back.
Well, the misery for Tim Hardaway still continues here at the Garden. He's out of the ball game. Dan Marley is in.
As Terry Porter will step to the line. 10 years in Portland, 3 in Minnesota, and twice an All-Star. Porter now in his 13th season joining Miami. Later tonight, NBC's got a blockbuster double feature at 7, 6 Central. Jim Carrey stars in Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, followed by the 60s, the movie event all America's talking about. No reason to go out. They're coming to you tonight on NBC.
It's a huge acquisition for Pat Riley and the Heat with getting Terry Porter. Here's a guy, championship-level player for the Trailblazers early in his career, incredibly durable, the 3rd longest active streak, totally skilled in every part of the game, clutch performer.
And today marked the 283rd straight game for Terry Porter, the third active in the NBA in consecutive games. Pick and roll, Ewing from Houston.
Big quarter for Ewing, 8 1/4.
And Steve, much quicker for New York. Nobody's holding the ball. Now Sprewell trying to dig it out defensively. Feeding off the crowd.
About a 6-second shot clock differentiation. Mashburn trapped in the corner.
Right it to Porter. Shot clock to 5. Porter got it away. Clutch basket.
A lot of time, but got to get it on the run. And penetrate and pass.
Giles draws the double team. Tries to dribble out of it and draws the foul.
Morning.
They had the foul to give.
He didn't have a foul.
Yeah, they don't want Morning to give one.
Miami had a foul to give. The big guy never wants to waste a foul. That's his 4th.
2.3 seconds. Houston got it away. Allen Houston punctuates a New York Knicks run, 16-7 to close the third quarter, and they're back in the game. At the end of 3 quarters at Madison Square Garden, the Miami Heat leading the New York Knicks 67-61. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Fourth quarter about to unfold at the Garden with Miami leading New York 67-61. Pat Riley not happy with this last basket by Houston.
Well, they had burned a foul that Alonzo Mourning shouldn't have taken. But now Terry Porter is standing on the weak side over there. And our Jim Gray reports that in the huddle between the quarters that Pat Riley was livid, saying it was totally and forever unacceptable that we just give up on the last 2 seconds, that every single possession has to be competed.
It appeared that his wrath was directed at Terry Porter during that break between quarters.
Well, it's been a tale of 2 different types of halves, in quarters. In the first 6 minutes of the quarter, it was great execution by the Miami Heat, and then it was scramble, and suddenly the Knicks got alive and took over the last 6.
Thomas misses the turnaround, but the Knicks will get another chance with a fresh 24.
And getting back in that ball game, credit the New York Knicks for having the energy to make the Miami Heat a perimeter team. They started shooting jump shots. That allowed them to rebound the ball, run it.
He'll shoot 2. And another reason New York has gotten back into the game is they're whipping Miami soundly on the boards. Remember, Miami started the game with a 10-2 rebounding edge. It's now 46-30 New York.
And Patrick Ewing, knowing that getting to the foul line is something that his team sorely needs, accepts the punishment, and Van Gundy ecstatic. But Van Gundy, on the other hand, was saying in the locker room today, when you're dribbling that ball, think pass, guys. We're thinking too much of creating our own shot. 1 or 2 dribbles, kick the ball to the next guy.
Well, Patrick Ewing had 1 point in the first 18 minutes of the game. In the last 18 minutes, he has scored 17.
Go back to Mashburn in the post here.
Well, the concern for Miami is getting their execution back. They've lost it. The Knicks have got the energy. They're forcing mistakes. Ewing passed up an easy shot for a bucket
and missed it. Here's Mashburn for Miami to Porter. Marley's open. They don't see him.
Houston's trying to contain Mashburn deep.
They wanted to try to slow it up, get something good and positive, and not make a quick mistake. Weatherspoon.
Open shot will not go down. Rebounded by Houston. Houston with a hesitation on Mashburn.
Individual brilliance, yes. Don't overlook, though, Kurt Thomas standing in the lane, battling, fighting, keeping Alonzo Mourning away. You see this little back screen there set by Kurt Thomas right at the bottom of your screen. And that allows Allen Houston an unimpeded path to the basket. That's the kind of transition basketball that Van Gundy has been pleading for.
I was wondering how long Pat Riley was going to gamble. You got 12 minutes in the quarter. Morning picked up that foul, stayed in the ball game. He gets him out of the ball game. P.J. Brown in. Allen Houston a three-point play. 1-point ball game time.
Allen Houston with a three-point play. He's 9 of 15 shooting today. Went by Mashburn that time. The two had some pretty good battles between their teams in college. Houston at Tennessee, Mashburn at Kentucky.
Porter was confused, didn't know what play they were trying to get into here. Now Mashburn's got to bail it out.
Well, Mashburn's got to make plays for other people. Marley started off making long distance. Mashburn with a miss. We haven't heard from Marley.
Had the offensive board, but couldn't get the shot down. Sprewell stripped away. Loose ball picked up by Houston. Childs. And Miami has it. Brown to Mashburn. P.J. Brown has 10 rebounds.
It's a scrambled tempo, and that always helps the desperate team playing at home here, trying to fight from behind.
Miami can't play a sprint game, and they are a team that wants to control it. They get a big hoop from Weatherspoon to break the momentum of the New York Knicks.
Weatherspoon with 9 points after the DNP did not play on opening night. Riley, indeed, as he told us, had to find a spot for him and did. Kurt Thomas. Terry Porter with the board.
Thomas once again very strong in the first half, as he was opening night in Orlando. Quiet in the second.
Porter missed the shot, but Weatherspoon an offensive rebound. Porter's calling for it at the three-point line, but Mashburn says, let's back it out, and now goes one-on-one against Sprewell.
His job is to go one-on-one, make plays, has a tough time finishing there against the Knicks defense, and now it's a quick push by New York.
Finishing in traffic has never been the strength of Jamal Mashburn's game.
Porter blocked the shot by Thomas. Brown rejects it for the foul call. It'll either be Mashburn or Brown. As we take a timeout, 8:59 left in the game. Heat clinging to a three-point lead on the Knicks.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you that 3 most important words are, hey, beer man.
Tom Hammond, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, and Jim Gray at Madison Square Garden. Knicks home opener, and also the debut of controversial Latrell Sprewell, who's had a tough afternoon.
That is the kind of game that Sprewell can get into sometimes, and before it's all over, he'll bust out. He's got 8:59 to ring the bell from the field, and, you know, the problem sometimes is winning the confidence of a coach. Van Gundy doesn't know Sprewell. You're not playing well, I'm going to sit you down. He's got to be out on the floor because any kind of play can wake Sprewell up and he can go for numbers.
But Steve, he looks tentative today. He looks hesitant. Sprewell's always been the type of player that has to go out and feel as if this game is his to play and his to play alone. And in these big moments, home opener, you got to come out and say, hey, I got to play the best game of my life tonight.
Thomas misses the first free throw, and don't forget, coming your way, game 2 of our doubleheader, a rematch of the Western Conference Finals of a season ago as the Lakers take on the Utah Jazz. Jazz and the Lakers coming up next.
That's going to be a big one.
Will Karl Malone be able to continue his mastery over the Lakers? Will the Utah Jazz be able to overcome the lack of depth that's always been a big plus to them, but certainly has changed dramatically this year?
Riley gave Morning a 2-minute break. He's back out on the floor, so he's looking for a push to get some separation right now.
And Steve, P.J. Brown went to the Miami bench. He got hit in the Adam's apple, and we're told he will return. Update on the Pacers and the Pistons.
Game is tied, so it continues to be a tough one. They're going to get a 24-second shot clock violation against the Miami Heat.
Steve, the great Tim Hardaway, easily one of the best point guards in all of basketball today. First and second team All-NBA the last 2 years. Has really quieted down the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Remember when the trouble with New York with the turnovers? Well, Miami now is turned it over 5 times in the last 6 minutes.
But, you know, the story for Hardaway has been it has not been a garden party. So watch out for
The crowd explodes as Latrell Sprewell gets his first field goal at Madison Square Garden in a Knicks uniform. He's 1 for 9.
Well, we talked at the outset about his ability to go one-on-one when the offense is broken down.
Tie score for the first time since it was 4-4. And the Heat will get it back with 8 to shoot.
And his ability, Sprewell, to poke it away and garner the ball on defense. Now just right in your face, the perfect footwork, the crossover, fake one way, go the other, get in the air. Perfect offensive strategy.
Shot clock's at 7. Porter in for Dan Marley. Got to get it away.
He does with Childs in his face. Terry Porter nails it all over Chris Childs.
Oh, and the referee here, Scott Foster, called that a 2. The other 2 referees didn't have a good look at it. Out of bounds. Leon Wood makes the call along the baseline against the Knicks.
Watch this shot by Porter.
To beat the shot clock, just a prayer answer. Sunday, I guess.
And nearly a 3, as you pointed out. And the Knicks turn it over as Ewing steps on the baseline in Miami. Back in front by 2 with the ball.
Deal.
Almost. Porter saves. Walked a tightrope along the 10-second line, and Porter again. Oh, 2 in a row. With the shot clock again ticking away, Porter collects number 10 in the game.
And Tom, Terry Porter just looked over at Spike Lee and said, I'm the new Reggie Miller in this conference.
Back-to-back heroics by Terry Porter up against the shot clock. Another tough hoop. And the Heat lead 73-69. The NBA on NBC.
Controversy in close games, the trademark of this great rivalry. Terry Porter, who's just hit back-to-back prayers, is going to be behind the three-point line, trying to find some footwork, some room to get his first shot off. He's behind the line. The referees gave him a 2-point shot on that play. And the Heat come up on the short end, even though they have extended to a 4-point lead.
Tim Hardaway must have been connected to you on that. He looked over here and said, was that a 3? They want that extra point. They know it's going to be a tight finish.
Bench scoring in favor of the Heat. Ewing maybe traveled on that one. It doesn't matter. It'll count. Ewing over Mourning.
Well, bench scoring huge plus for Miami. 19-11 on the afternoon. They were killed by Detroit 35-13 Friday night in Miami.
Turnover. Hardaway zips it out of bounds, expecting Mourning to turn out for the pass.
Ewing did a nice job at both ends, but this time getting himself set. When he can get himself set, he is a great jump shooting center. Knocks the bottom out of that one.
Knicks can tie or perhaps take the lead with a 3.
Nice pass.
Sprewell, his second real goal, and just as the first one tied the game, this one does as well.
That's the kind of creativity that Jeff Van Gundy wants from this team. He's got shooters. He's got Sprewell, Houston, Larry Johnson can fill it out.
Porter for 3.
That's a heat check.
And you know, it's the same thing that happened. Sprewell ties the game, and Porter unties it for Miami. He has scored their last 3 buckets, and that one was a 3.
Van Gundy's seen enough. He's getting Allen Houston back in the game. He knows he needs firepower down the stretch. Ewing at the hoop.
Nice pass from Larry Johnson. Ewing has 22.
What does it take for Patrick Ewing to get to the free throw line? They tried to foul him. Tim Hardaway's got to come up with a big play here. He's been very quiet.
This has been the Garden, though. He does not play well here. He's got high turnovers and low numbers. Mourning trying to get it down.
Oh, that one danced all around the rim and finally fell through for Alonzo, who has 12 points.
It was as if, Tom, he had some stickum on the ball. As soon as it hit the rim, it was not going to let go.
Maybe by 3. Just over 5 minutes left in the game from the Garden. Ewing against Alonzo Mourning. Turns on him, faces up, misses. Easy rebound from Ashburn.
Well, when they go to the fadeaway, the good cut initially through by the guard set it up for Ewing.
Now, let me ask you, if this is a heat check, does anybody know Terry Porter just made 3 shots in a row? 3 tough shots. They don't.
Hardaway misses a long two, and Ewing had Mourning perfectly blocked off the board.
Should flip-flop that and have Tim kick it off to Terry Porter, who was obviously scorching.
Childs feeds to Ewing, blocked by Mourning. Out of bounds on Ewing's knee. Miami ball. Allen Houston returns to the game for New York, and P.J. Brown for Miami.
Ewing didn't know where Alonzo Mourning was, and he quickly got to that one. I think Ewing thought he could just put that on the glass, and it would be an easy deuce.
Steve, you forget how fierce it is underneath that basket. These guys are killing each other.
Well, Miami has seen New York twice tie the score, and they fought back to retain the lead. Hardaway under Charlie Ward. And Ewing taps it to himself. Patrick now with 16 rebounds.
Tim's forcing it when they already have a hot hand in Terry Porter. It's not like he's trying to rescue something that's frozen.
Ewing low block. Turns on Mourning. Fall away. Rims out. Still a 3-point Miami lead.
Mashburn needs more handles.
Trying to go to Mourning, and they pick up a foul against Ewing. Ewing just got lazy and reached out, tried to make a steal, had no chance to get to that ball.
That's his third foul.
And he had Alonzo off the box.
In the battle of centers, Ewing 22 points, 16 rebounds. Alonzo 12 points, 6 boards. Miami has the lead.
He is a warrior on the court, but a gentle giant off of it. The Lakers' Shaquille O'Neal having fun with some young fans after arriving at the Forum a little while ago. Following the Knicks and the Heat, we'll send you to Los Angeles for the young Lakers and the veteran Jazz. Game 2 of our NBA on NBC doubleheader. Let's go back to the Garden and rejoin Tom Hammond.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. We're looking forward to that second game of the doubleheader as well. And meanwhile, here at the Garden, Terry Porter's been the savior for the Heat.
A great pickup. Terry Porter makes a three here. They only gave him 2. Then it bails him out again at the end of the shot clock, right at the top of the key. Then spots up from the dead corner and nails another 3. So 3 big baskets for Porter.
He has 13 points, 7 in the last 4 minutes.
What was Kevin McHale thinking when he let this guy go as a free agent?
Hardaway chases it down. There's an update on Detroit and Indiana.
4-point lead, Detroit.
And time permitting, we'll send you to the end of that one. Mourning steps up and delivers the jump shot. 14 points for Zoe.
Ewing got him up in the air, got plenty of time to collect himself. So a couple of big hoops by Mourning here in the fourth quarter to keep the Heat on top.
Matt Riley really wants the defense to focus in on Allen Houston right now.
Made a tough catch, tough shot that would not go down. Hardaway has it. So time permitting, we'll send you to the end of Detroit and Indiana. And don't forget, after that second half of the doubleheader, Utah and the Lakers.
Freelance by Sprewell, and he tried to make the steal and smacks Hardaway.
Steve, what was that number you had at the beginning? 20 out of 22 games of the last games here at the Garden that Knicks have won.
That's right.
Miami with a 5-point lead now. If they don't hold on here, that's going to really be a tough plane ride to Charlotte tonight. They've had the best road record Miami has in the last 2 years, and that includes the Chicago Bulls.
They can play on the road. Here's Hardaway.
Hardaway.
He's taking some bad shots.
He's trying to find a way to get in it, but he has not been able to find a rhythm.
The rhythm is in Porter's hands, and Mashburn's creativity against an outside Sprewell.
New York gets it back after Porter slapped it away from Houston. And New York will call for timeout. Well, there's Terry Porter. He and Alonzo Mourning have scored the last 11 Miami points. And with 2:31 left, the Heat are up by 5. Miami up 5 with 2:31 left in the game at Madison Square Garden. NBC tonight.
He's wild, he's outrageous, and he's coming to NBC tonight. Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Do I have something in my teeth?
Snapper, that remind you of anyone at the buffet line?
He eats that way all the time, and he manages to get stuck in the middle of us.
How about Tim Hardaway? First half, terrific performance there, second half, very quiet. Steve, you highlighted his Garden performances in recent past.
He's missed his last 6 shots and is scoreless the last 18 minutes. Tim Hardaway. Ewing from Houston.
Good basketball, penetration and dish. Now, Van Gundy with his starters, presumably his best 5 on the court. If everyone can play well down the stretch, they've got a chance.
Well, it's only a 3-point game, 2 minutes to go, and what the Knicks have to do is make the Heat, and particularly Hardaway, shoot the ball over the top of the
18-footer, not there. Sprewell the rebound. Don't forget, we'll send you to the end of that game, time permitting, and then Utah and the Lakers.
This is when you come to Sprewell and let him work his magic.
Well, there's no telling. 3 wants a 3.
Missed it. Nothing but black jerseys there for the rebound, and Mourning takes it.
Sprewell's at his best on that left wing, Tom. Don't leave him out here in no man's land where he has to create a 3-point shot. That's not his game. Let him go from the left wing and in the 18-foot area. He'll get it done.
Sprewell's a freelancer, and you never know what's in his mind, and he had 3 on his mind the minute he got the ball. Tough shot. They punched it away.
Mashburn missed. Brown had it knocked away. Here comes New York. They're down 3. Houston to tie. Sprewell, offensive rebound. Brown takes it away.
Terrible pass by PJ. Way too hard.
Porter couldn't handle it, and the Knicks will get it back. Timeout, New York. 1:05 left. Patrick Ewing with 24 points, leading the New York comeback. There's the...
B.J. Brown is going to throw a bullet here to someone who's standing 3 feet away. Knicks get a break.
And gathering for one last comeback drive. Welcome back to the Garden, and don't forget, coming up next, a rematch of last season's Western Conference Finals, the Jazz and the Lakers squaring off in Los Angeles. The mailman Karl Malone taking the Utah Jazz against the Lakers, playing in the Forum. And Kobe Bryant, who had a big game the other night for the Lakers. That'll be coming up next here on NBC. The Lakers and the Jazz. Right now, Miami leads New York by 3, 80-77, 1:05 on the clock.
New York ball on their own baseline, full 24-second clock. Bring it in. I say swing it around and give it to Sprewell and let him go, or Allen Houston. Both of them operating most effectively from the left wing there, Steve.
Well, I think the problem is they want to tie the game up all of a sudden. And they've got to remember they still got plenty of time. So if you take the first available 2, you still have a time to come back. Even if the Miami Heat scoring, you're not giving them a 3-point shot. You still have that 3-point distance between you should they score. You can get the 3. But they got to take the first easy score. And then the last 2 shots, Sprewell went deep, and Allen Houston followed right behind it. I'm sure that's why Van Gundy called a timeout.
Ewing and Sprewell have scored the last 10 Knick points. Hot hands for Miami. Alonzo Mourning and Terry Porter, they've scored the Heat's last 11.
But when was the last time Miami scored? They have really been in a drought as Timmy Hardaway has really tried to take over the action.
Houston off the inbounds pass.
B.J. Brown got a piece of that one as it went in flight.
Sprewell nowhere to go, gave it up. Ward penetrates, can't score as Mourning came over to check him, but Johnson puts it home off the offensive board. He's been a terror on the offensive board today.
And 12 rebounds total in the second half alone for Larry Johnson.
Inside the final minutes, Miami with the ball, leading by 1. Hardaway gets a screen from Mourning, who rolls to the hoop. Entry pass, puts it up, and he's fouled. Pick and roll, Hardaway to Mourning, who will shoot 2 free throws.
Good lead pass inside, and just enough to get over the outstretched hands of Ewing, and Larry Johnson came over, gave him a little smack across the wrist. Was there any thought of picking him up?
No. Those were the 2 guys who just couldn't take it anymore with 1.6 seconds last year.
Boy, that 1.6 was too tough. He could not stand it any longer. Mourning rolls in the free throw. He has 15 points and 7 rebounds. That's his first made free throw in 3 attempts.
Yeah, that was a huge one. He was tight on that one, got a friendly bounce. Let's see how he does on his second.
Got them both. And the lead is 3.
New York has to defend the three-point shot. Miami has to defend the three-point shot right here.
Now, the New York Knicks got to take the quick 2. Allen Houston can't get it.
Mashburn unable to save it, and New York will get it back. Timeout, Knicks.
You have to control your defensive board if you expect to win tough road games. The last 2 possessions, Miami, the ball on their fingertips, couldn't pull it in.
20.4 seconds remaining at the Garden. The New York Knicks will have it. They trail Miami by 3.
Well, the danger for the New York Knicks is not only the clock, but their attitude right now is they think they've got to get the 3, and they've got to get a score, and they've got to take the first available score to them and not use a lot of time in doing it.
But, Steve, if they don't get the 3 right away, then they have to foul. And you know they're going to keep the ball in Porter's hands, in Hardaway's hands, and Mashburn. Free throw numbers today, Knicks atrocious. Just as bad as they were the other night. Worse. Miami, nothing special to speak of themselves.
Well, Allen Houston has suddenly gone cold for New York as well. The man that they look to for a clutch shot has had some good looks at the basket, but suddenly can't get one.
I think you have to go back to the people that are consistent in these situations. That is Allen Houston and Patrick Ewing, but you got to do it quickly. You can't expend a lot of time in trying to get your field goal opportunity. Otherwise, you put yourself on your heels. Even if you get the 2, you got to come back and foul, stop the clock.
If I'm the Miami Heat, I foul. I put New York on the line, give him 2 points, then just put the ball in Tim Hardaway's hands the rest of the game and make it, because Tim Hardaway or Terry Porter, they'll make the big free throws down the stretch. You have to have the confidence in your guys to be able to knock free throws down.
Detroit with a big lead now over the Indiana Pacers, 101-93. Is Detroit for real?
I think so. The way they looked Friday night, they just outran them.
Pat Riley was even complimenting the Pistons, how great Detroit looked in their win over Miami in Miami on Friday night.
If you get a running team in the Eastern Conference, watch out. Most of these teams like to stand around and play the half-court bang-bang game.
If you're thinking about a 3-point attempt, New York, as you saw, 3 of 9 today.
Riley wants a timeout. He saw whatever he saw. He wants to talk some more. So, you know, it's one of those strategy sessions for him.
Meanwhile, we talked about Allen Houston struggling, but Jamal Mashburn hasn't scored in this quarter. He does have 22 points. And at the conclusion of this game, we'll be sending you west. Great Western Forum, where the Lakers will host the Utah Jazz. Shaq against the Mailman in a repeat of last year's Western Conference Finals. We did that final game where the Jazz completed that 4-game sweep of Los Angeles. Do you think the Lakers have matured enough now to take on the veteran Malone, Stockton, Hornacek, the Jazz?
Even if they're not, they're plenty mad. They've had a long time to hear people say, you stink, you were awful, and, you know, they're really going to come out and try to prove something this afternoon.
I think the Lakers are a better team. Kobe Bryant's going to get more minutes. And there's question marks with Utah. John Stockton has owned the Lakers for years, ever since Magic retired.
That's coming up next, Utah and the Lakers.
Lonzo Mourning out of the ball game and standing right behind Chris Childs. He might reach out and knock the ball out of his hand.
A dribble handoff, get a three-pointer for Spree or for Houston.
Ewing was wide open for a slam dunk, and they didn't see him. Marley commits the foul. They had one to give.
16.
16.3.
You're going to have to get a lot of guys for New York involved in this play. It can't just be one guy clearing out the dribble for a three-pointer.
Ward gets it to Sprewell. Three-pointer, no good. The brick. Saved in bounds to New York. And Ewing fumbles, recovers, misses the shot. Oh, New York had opportunities galore, and now Mashburn is fouled.
Patrick. That's embarrassing.
Well, what happened is they got three-point conscious, and that was the only shot that they seemed to be looking for. And then when they got the break, Ewing, sensing a lot of time, rushed the shot, but you can tell by the way they set up, they just weren't ready. And when Ewing misses this, that's game.
Fumbled the pass. That was the problem, and then he never was in sync. And the look on his face a moment ago pretty well summed up the feeling of Ewing and the Knicks.
Yeah.
Mashburn has scored in the quarter, but has hit all 4 free throws today and has 22, now 23 points.
Doesn't matter if he makes or miss this one right here. Tim Hardaway looking over at us and say, we finally got one.
He also said, you know, I couldn't make a shot. He had a real tough afternoon, but this has been a real den of horrors for him. Mashburn missing, that's the ball game.
So the Knicks start the season 0-2, while the Miami Heat go 1-1 on the young season. Ewing had that last opportunity to pull them within one, couldn't hit it. And the Miami Heat have a rare win at Madison Square Garden, and one of the heroes, Terry Porter. Let's go to Terry with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Very rare win here at Madison Square Garden. You wouldn't know that being in your first year with the Heat. How did you manage to make those 3 shots? You were basically unconscious there.
Yeah, it's just, you know, a situation, you know, I was in the zone, and, you know, shot clock was running down, and, you know, you just got to try to do the best situation you can, and I was able to get them off, and fortunate enough they went in. But, you know, we played hard the whole game. We allowed them to come back in it, and then, you know, we had to toughen it out, and, you know, we came with a great win for us.
How aware and how much do the guys talk about each game meaning so much? Usually you have 82, but this season it's only 50. Losses are very important.
They are, no doubt about it. And we talk about this. We talked about it from the start, and we talk about it every day. We cannot allow ourselves to play a bad game. We got to go out and bust our tails every night and make sure that, you know, we're getting beaten and we don't really lose ball games. And tonight was another game. You know, New York did a great job of getting back in the game. We regrouped and came back out and made the plays down the stretch we needed to make to win this ball game.
Are you surprised, Terry, at the way so far that Jamal Mashburn has played this season?
I'm not. He's a great player, got a lot of good skills, and, you know, we're going to need that type of effort for him every night.
Terry, congratulations to you. Good game today.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back over to Tom Hammond.
All right, Jim, thanks. Twice Latrell Sprewell had tied the score for New York, and Terry Porter was a one-man wrecking crew for the Miami Heat with those clutch shots.